saying that you said that God banished Satan and cast him upon his children, because the relationship between Adam and God was, I love that phrase, jam tight and jelly right. And so why would God place evil in their midst? All right. And that, you called it a disregard for God, his children, and this depiction, but it's not a disregard for his children at all. In fact, the Bible says that before the foundation of the world, before this whole thing got started, God had already purposed and planned that he would bring a redemption plan. He knew when he created Adam and Eve, he knew that they were going to make a decision. And then you say, well, why did there even have to be a decision? Because the relationship was great, so why did there even need to be a decision? Because God could love unconditionally and give his love unconditionally and fully. But man had to learn how to do that. And love isn't love completely if there's no choice. God had to allow there to be a choice. A choice. You use the analogy of us being children of God. I'll go here. I have to be very fatherly with you in my experience as a father. When my children were born, they didn't know me. And to be honest with you, I didn't know them. Now, God's not limited like me as a human being to not to know my children. But I'm looking at this boy. Then when the twins were born, 2 more boys. There's a relationship that had to grow and be established. And the ultimate thing, you said you're a parent also. The ultimate thing right now, I don't know how old your son is, but when your children come into the world, you're all they know. And you're there, you're taking care of them, all those kinds of things. But a lot of the love is pretty much from a very selfish motivation, because you're feeding them, you're clothing them, you're giving them toys to play with, and so you're the greatest parent in the world because you do all these things for me. But as you mature, which is what Adam and Eve went through, the maturing process comes when, do you love me if there is a choice presented to you to love me? Because that's really where love comes in, when there's a choice. Nobody wants to be loved because, well, I'm the only thing there is. So, of course, the relationship was jam tight and jelly right, because that's all there was God. But God wanted to bring man into the highest level of love, and that is to love me by choice. Not because you have to, because there ain't nothing else, but because you want to, even if there's a whole lot of choices all around you. So what God did was he allowed that rebellion that happened in the spirit realm, he kicked it out into the natural realm where he had created his children. And he allowed this circumstance, knowing all along. Boy, ain't amazing how God he knew all along that this rebellion would give him the opportunity to give his children a choice and to grow into mature love by choice. But it had to be a real choice. It couldn't be no make-believe game show choice. It had to be a real choice with real consequences that everybody, including God, would suffer if the wrong choice is made. Got to see this from God's point of view. It wasn't him casting evil upon his children. First of all, he didn't create evil. That's another thing. You say God created Satan. God didn't create Satan. God created Lucifer. And Lucifer did the same thing that man did. Made a choice. Wow. It's amazing how God did the most dangerous thing that a creator could ever do. And that is to give what you create a choice. That's the most dangerous thing that you could do with whatever you create. You give them choice that they could do whatever they want to do. But when he gave them that choice, he said, here are the consequences. And he set it up in a natural way so that man could perceive and understand what was going on. He said, you see this garden? Take care of it. It's one tree. You can go and eat, do whatever. Any tree in here, all over, but there's one. And the day that you eat of that one, you're going to die. You're going to be, the word death means separated. You're going to be separated from me forever. And so Lucifer, whose name was changed to Satan, as you know the story, came and deceived the woman. The man disobeyed also. And so to look at it at a bigger picture, Satan approached him with the very issue that I'm talking about. This is how Eve, the woman, Adam were approached. And that is, they said, he told Eve, or told the woman, because her name wasn't Eve at the time. He told her, "This, see this? This is beautiful. And if you eat of it, you're going to be like God, knowing good and evil." Now, what does that mean as far as this maturity level and growing and choice and all of that? It's the very thing that even my sons, my children, were approached with as they got older. As children get older, all they know is their parents, all they know is what their parents told them. But then somebody comes along and this thought starts to enter their mind, starts challenging what their parents have told them. And it don't have to be that way. Your parents haven't told you everything. That's the deception. He did it with Eve. He's going to do it with your son. He's doing it with you. Because that's what this question is really about. There's something God ain't told you. There's some more to this than just what's in the Bible. And that's how he approaches all of us. Because the challenge is to get you to make a choice and move independent of God. Because that's really what all of that was about. It wasn't just to get this woman to eat this fruit and get her husband to eat this fruit. It was to act independent of God. Do the very thing God told you not to do, because if you do that, you'll be like God. What does he mean? You'll be doing something independent. God does whatever he want to do, so this gives you a chance to do what you want to do. That's what this is about. I done started preaching. I didn't mean to start preaching. So that's what the challenge is. Now, the whole bigger picture, the scholars and the theologians, I always forget this phrase that they use to refer to looking at the big picture of this. It's meta something. I meant to bring that word, but it's okay. But it basically means the big picture. Look at the whole picture of God. God wanted and still desires to, and he's going to get what he wants. His desire was to have children that will not love him by force, love him because they're robots and there ain't nothing else to love, or because I give you everything and do everything for you, because I love you, because we love him. We choose to. But in order for that to come about, there really had to be a legitimate other choice.